What is going on, guys? It's your boy DomeZ here, and today I got a brand new video for you guys. Listen, the title of this video is Gears of War Ultimate Edition, a wasted remake. This title already got me feeling a certain type of way, but listen, I'm gonna be unbiased here because Gal Yui was one of my favorite Gears of War games. Multiplayer wise, one of my favorites, easily. All right. This game is definitely my top 3. Gal 1 was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it was good, but Gal Yui was like a better version of Gal 1 in my opinion. It was better FPS. The game just felt a lot smoother. You know what I mean? So that's why I like Gal Yui over Gal 1, because the era for Gal 1 versus Gal Yui, the Gal Yui is like a more advanced era. But let's see what this video is about. I'm gonna try to pause the video during the actual vid itself. I'm not gonna pause it. If I do pause it, probably once or twice. All right, but let's get right into the video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Let's be unbiased here. Let's come into this with an unbiased opinion. Just watch the video and see what the guy got to say. All right, let's watch it.
Move! Get out of there! Why don't you move? Down! Move down! Move down! Get out!
This is definitely Gal 1. How dark it looks is Gal 1 for sure. Oh, you scared the fuck out of me, boy. Why you gotta do that?
The original Gears of War was a masterclass of tactical third-person shooters, slow-paced, atmospheric, horror, and war
Agreed.
that set the template for what was to come, while crafting a solid, self-contained, character-driven story. The plot centers around a world attacked from mysterious underground humanoids and monsters who call themselves the Locust Horde, and it is up to you to fight your way out of the nightmare and turn the tide of war. The primary focus of the game is Marcus Phoenix, a professional soldier who gets reinstated into the military after spending 4 years in prison for insubordination and treason. He gets rescued by his best friend Dominic Santiago and takes him to meet a squad called Delta to seek and obtain a device that will map the caverns which the Locust inhabit and destroy their hollow tunnel networks once and for all. The game was a huge hit, and it went on to become one of the best video games ever made, as well as rounding out.
I agree with what he's saying. Yo, guys, if Gear 6 comes out and it does not come out with the Delta Squad characters off rip, I'm gonna be pissed, TC. Yeah, better start releasing Gears of War games with all the original characters already in the game. Just start adding on to that. Stop releasing the characters like Dom and all these guys, Baird, 10 years after the game comes out. Stop it.
Out the 7th generation of gaming in very satisfying fashion. With the Gears of War license bought and now under full control by Microsoft, following the tremendous success the series had accomplished under the tenure of Epic Games, Microsoft didn't want to end it there. So they formed and created a new development team to make more. And with the interest and success at times of remastering beloved video games, for their first title, this new team wanted to give Gears of War a similar treatment, and in August 2015, a remake was announced. With the goal of accurately retaining the gameplay experience of the original, while giving it a full contemporary updated visual presentation to the game's story. Gears of War Ultimate Edition is a remake that doesn't just neglect to improve on the original, it actually finds a way to make it worse.
What? Nah, I need to hear this.
The end result was a shallow, lazy exploit rehash that removes a lot of elements and replaces them with nothing of value. It was a mix of individually good implements while telling a simplistic by-the-numbers story with very bland performances and presentation. And with that being said, allow me to illuminate you as we revisit Gears of War Ultimate Edition.
Illuminate.
I got a lot to say, but I'm gonna hold it.
So one of the strengths of Ultimate Edition is its gameplay, which shouldn't come as any surprise to anyone.
Let's watch this video till the end, guys.
Even though the original is
give our opinions
fantastic
after.
with mechanics that felt great, varied, challenging, and fun, all of that is enhanced and much smoother. The original Gears of War was dark and gritty with a unique contrast designed in an honest, realistic light. It was grounded in minimalist lighting while only being visible when it mattered, with a visual tone that gave an immense sense of story, isolation,
yes, it was dark, but it wasn't always the best thing. Gal 1,
Ultimate Edition takes an opposite approach, making the visuals, the world, and environments lighter, prettier, and cleaner. Ultimate Edition looked good in its own right, but what was a unique fundamental that made the original and what the Gears of War series is meant to be all about is uninspiring and forgettable, and it tramples all over the original's art direction. Graphically, it's not bad, and it used the same engine as the original games updated, combined with some features from an entirely new one, but by removing this and offering nothing meaningful in its place, it delivers an experience that's shallow, unimaginative, and lazy. On the other hand, the multiplayer component was an improvement, adding things like extra maps, more game modes, dedicated servers, more options, and upgraded to running at 60 frames. The Gnasher shotgun, which is the staple choice for close-range combat in the franchise, often occasionally failed to register point-blank range, despite being exactly the same as it was in the original game, but overall it was an enjoyable experience. Also, some interesting, not very commonly known trivia in the Gears of War universe: Gears of War wasn't supposed to have any multiplayer component at all. Director Cliff Bleszinski and Epic Games wanted to make a single-player and co-op only focused game, similar to games like Capcom's Resident Evil and Konami's Metal Gear series, but decided to tack one on just for the hell of it in their final 2 weeks of development before the game launched. It was player host only with clunky performance, and to Epic Games' surprise, the multiplayer became very popular. Really impressive if you think about it. The biggest bone of contention with Gears of War Ultimate Edition is the story. Even though it was basically the same as the original, with the same plot points, levels, voice performances were mostly retained, and others like the score was left unchanged, the sense of intrigue, mystery, or feeling you're caught up in a dangerous or larger situation is non-existent. And this comes at the expense of direction and a little bit of writing quality. Now, when you think of good directing, you think about their strengths. Are they great with actors, and can they bring out a great performance? Are they better at handling action scenes, or is spectacle their thing? I think if you take away the effects, the levels, and the sound, you're left with very pedestrian directing. And to explain what I mean, let's go through and check some scenes from the game. And a great example to start off is the tomb scene, where in the narrative the characters barricade the doors to stop the locusts from getting inside, only minutes later to find out they trapped themselves with a thing that to some is a nightmare and an incalculable terror. This moment in the original was iconic because players had never experienced or seen anything like it before. It was a moment of demanding
as a kid, I was scared of the scene right here. As a kid, guys, I was super scared of the scene.
Escape the frame, while giving just enough information so it could focus more on the tension, along with a brief obscure glimpse laced in darkness.
This guy right here, chat, when I was a little kid, scared the hell out of me.
Ultimate Edition directs it like a cheap action scene with constant quick cuts to anything they think is important. We need
that locust running at me, I don't know why, it always got me scared.
Characters when they talk, shot of character holding item for us to look at, shot of character talking to everyone, shot of them when they leave. What's this monster they're talking about? Usually when I think about great directing, I don't think about how boring every scene is and how much time is wasted. When the whole point of this moment was to craft a sense of foreboding, a slow pace, while withholding viewers' expectations, setting up the situation while crawling toward inevitable devastation, which as a result makes the moment,
I'm gonna be honest, I feel like he's reaching a little bit,
and sending a player's heart racing. Now it just rushes into it and rapidly
I was still scared when I played the guy
so literal and blatantly obvious. Another couple good moments is the voice of the Queen, which takes place in 2 brief scenes of the game. These moments sound simple at first glance, but they're actually potent and low-key haunting, while drawing the line between giving players enough information to understand the stakes involved, while holding back just enough to maintain the interest and mystery. Like,
how many of you guys actually like Galui, by the way? I like the Galui.
We don't know the answers to these.
Let me know how many of you guys actually like the game.
Because players don't need to know and likely don't want to know either, and are more interesting to ponder than answer. Revealing and explaining things, especially something like this, undermines the fundamental mystery. And it's like the makers put this prominent character into the game because they have all the franchise's assets available to
What is wrong with them putting Myra?
So why not use this famous one here, right? But this was a very good and wise touch in the original, with little hints dropped throughout the game that added to the mystery. In spite of this moment and the finale of the battle, this
Oh,
war is just beginning, and whoever
I hate seeing my man Min
out
get
there
stabbed
that
like
speaks
that,
for
man.
these Locust monsters is not finished yet.
That's my favorite character in Gears of
The
War.
characterization, visual grammar, and the dark, gritty tone is entirely gone. This time it's rushed, more action, and spectacle focused. And this is shown off in all its glory with the 5 extensions, brand new chapters that were made and added for a Windows port of Gears of War in 2007, making their appearance for their first time on console. And despite being longer, they detract from the story considerably. It's just the characters playing hide and seek running from a brewmog with a few more additional objectives. They're very action-packed levels, the most in the entire game, and for what Ultimate Edition was, this was the best thing that it had to offer in terms of a remake. However, you could cut all of these additional chapters out and lose absolutely nothing of value. The original Gears of War game was smartly paced, focused, and tightly constructed, so the events in the narrative
Why do I
built
feel this guy's
logically on
super
each other.
biased right now,
Every
man?
action caused a reaction that impacted the flow of the story. Marcus and Delta Squad's launch of the Sonic Resonator resulted with the strongest Locust to hunt them down, forcing them into a race against time to reach their final objective. These extensions to the final act puts the plot to a complete standstill for unnecessary action set pieces, banter, over-the-top, and pointless expositions, when it should be getting straight to the point and not screwing around.
Listen up. We don't have much time. Get back there and make sure that APC works. We're going in. Start pulling the data.
I can't. The files are too big for this.
I'll be honest with y'all. Him saying Gayu is like a wasted remake is kind of like, you know, I don't like his. I mean, I agree with certain points, but not all of it, man. Honestly, like 80% of his points I kind of disagree with. The gritty aspect of Gears, yeah, probably wasn't as there with Gayu.
Bomb is on a train.
Affirmative.
But the game was still good. I thought.
Coal is our primary target. The train's going to deliver the bomb. Your targeting data will do the rest.
Gotta be another way. Baird, my squad.
Why is he putting a sound
my
effect?
call. Whatever, boss man. Baird, you copy?
Yo, this guy's a
Don't we have
troll.
train to catch?
What is this sound effect, bro?
Is accelerating to avoid capture. Your timetable just got a whole lot shorter.
Hey, stupid! You want some of this? Come and get me!
Think we can still make it in time?
If we don't, we're gonna spend the rest of our lives running from shit like this.
Marcus! Brewmac's gone, thank you very much, and we're headed back to the power line.
Shit!
The Locusts are on board. They're throwing our guards onto the tracks.
Roger that.
But you'll need to turn off some panels up there.
What are we looking for?
He's saying these scenes are bad. I'm assuming these scenes can't be in Gears, or like they're too childish. I guess maybe. That's too much talking.
An interrupt to manage levels.
What the hell? You mean we're stuck?
Yeah.
Marcus, we've lost control of the train. Now you'll have to catch it as it passes through Timgad Station.
Oh, for sake!
The original game was about a group of formidable characters fighting against monsters that you really feel could pick them apart, with characters you care about not because there's all that much to them, but instead because they work so well as a unit. While most of the time we are supposed to have some kind of idea of the Locust's whereabouts, having to search the frame and images to find them, where every death and kill comes in as a surprise. It was a special kind of video game, one that just works, thematically appropriate, funny when it needed to be, and designed to thrill, and it was a game that did a lot more with a lot less. And speaking of characters, many of them have gone through a bit of a makeover. The 4 main characters look like a bunch of clean-cut 25-year-olds that look like they stepped out of a fashion magazine rather than strong, older men working at the top of their game. And
Is
they all
that
come
really
across as
what-
flat, melodramatic and low
Bruh,
energy.
come
For
on,
example,
man.
Damon Baird was a sarcastic, cool, resourceful asshole with strong personality and charisma that verbally sparred with the cast, commanding the screen, believing
that
him
goes
to be
back to the
better,
gritty
and
part of
shown to have
Gears,
a
but,
real
like,
professional rivalry
yeah.
going on with Marcus. But here he's presented like an annoyed, upset, stubborn at times child that doesn't want to do anything with the group or do what he has to. It
What?
makes sense for what Ultimate Edition was going for here, and it fits for the most part, but it makes his character feel mundane compared to his original. Anthony Carmine is barely even noticeable. He's just there doing what the script requires and dies in the most predictable, obvious staged fashion.
Obviously, you're gonna expect him to die there if you play the guy one. You would never thought he was gonna die right there unless you played the game.
Making his death not only surprising, but also a little impactful.
Come on, bruh.
Marcus is more unmotivated and lightweight than previously. His agency is dialed down and he's not very interesting, despite mostly following the same script and having the same dialogue from the original. Marcus wasn't just the main protagonist of the story, the character was the story, and he controlled it.
Now,
Marcus
of course he
is
was.
the master of the diegesis.
He was
the
pretty
camera
ugly in
follows
Gal
him,
1, though, I ain't
stays
gonna
with
lie.
him, looks where he looks, and guiding players through, making sure they have an understanding of where
But
they
Gal
are in
1
the
was
world.
so dark.
He was shown as driven, serious, sharp, unapologetic, gruff, and hardened by his tough life experiences, and doesn't mess around, showing no vulnerability playing it straight while transitioning into a leading man. His portrayal and execution here feels like he could be any generic soldier hero than a larger-than-life character, and Ultimate Edition removes concepts and a lot of the elements that made him engaging.
He's still engaged. I mean, this is the reason why I think it was a wasted
All that
remake,
said,
though.
Gears of War Ultimate Edition was a decent remake. It was a shame that it removed
Man, I
so many
said
good
decent. The
elements,
game was
concepts,
good,
and
bro.
attributes that made the original so unparalleled that turned it into a classic.
I'm gonna give
It
my.
respected the work of
I'ma
the
wait till the
creators
video's
begun
over.
by Epic Games for
Yeah,
the
wait till the
most
video's
part,
over,
with
guys.
a more expensive
Fuck
budget,
it.
but falls short as a title that expects to compete with the original and was a wasted opportunity. If any more of the original Gears of War games does get brought back, just preserve the original game. Don't replace it or remove things left and right. Just give them the best gaming performance and audio experience enhancements. I don't believe anyone would have a problem with that. For those of you who are looking to dip your toes into the world of Gears of War, go play the original. The game still holds up even to this very day.
All right, listen. With that being said, all right, I'm gonna leave the link to the original video down below. I do have a few things to say, by the way. I don't agree fully with him saying that it was a decent remake. The game itself online was pretty goddamn fun. The game and the multiplayer wise played pretty goddamn good. There was a movement difference in campaign compared to multiplayer too. I will say this though. I'm playing devil's advocate here. All right. You guys may not like what I'm saying, but I do not think Galui was a bad game. I don't think it was a wasted remake. We're just reacting to this video because the title does say it's a wasted remake. He felt like they should have just copy and pasted Gal 1, just made the audio and the gameplay more smoother, which I semi agree. I don't think the characters looking as high defined as they did and not as gritty was a big deal for me, at least. Maybe if you're a person that just plays campaign, you probably cared a lot in that aspect. But me personally, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think Gal U is still one of the best Gal games. I think Gal U, I would even argue that Gal UE was better than Gal 1. If you guys played Gal UE on the Xbox One and you guys played Gears of War 1, to me, Gal UE is the better game. In my personal opinion, I play both Gears of War games. I've been playing Gears for what, 11 years, 12 years? I'm telling you, from my personal experience, I think that's it, man. I think Gal U was definitely the game. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I don't want to talk for too much. Like the video, chat. All right, like the video. Comment down below whatever video suggestions you guys have for your boy. All right. Hopefully you guys checked out the game versus the Vexies that I uploaded today too. And yeah, guys, until next time, it's been your boy DomeZ. Make sure you guys hit that sub button. And I'm out, guys. Peace. Love ya, bandits. Skir.